Everybody says Sora 2 is the physics king of AI video. I spent 5 charges trying to prove them wrong, and some of those charges stuck harder than I expected. Sora 2 calls itself the most capable AI video model ever built, and the real question is whether it actually delivers on that in practice, or whether the hype runs way ahead of the product. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Claim 1, Physics Accuracy. You're a creative director, you need a basketball to rebound naturally off a backboard, and your current tool gives you something that looks like a cartoon. That's reshoots, manual fixes, client embarrassment. Sora 2 says it nails gravity, momentum, and collisions better than any model out there. Let's see if that holds up. I looked at community reports across multiple complex scenes, and Sora 2 genuinely delivers here. Basketball rebounds naturally off the backboard. Figure skaters with cats obey physics faithfully. Olympic gymnast routines hold together frame by frame. The part that got me is how consistent object permanence is across the whole clip. Competitors like VO 3.1 and Kling 3.0 are closing in on other dimensions, but the physics lead is real. This charge gets dismissed. Sora 2's physics accuracy is genuinely best in class, with natural gravity and collisions that no competitor has fully matched yet, even as they close the gap on cinematic quality and motion. So that's one of 5 charges dismissed, and the score is 1 for Sora 2 on the board. I've spent enough time inside AI video tools to know when a physics claim is real versus when it's just a demo cherry pick. So drop a comment below if you've actually tried to get Sora 2 to hold a complex scene together. Claim 2, Native Long-Form Generation. The number floating around is 60 seconds of native video in a single generation, and if you've been planning a workflow around that, building storyboards, pitching clients on it, and it turns out to be flat out wrong, that's a real problem. 60 seconds native is the claim on the table, so let's check what Sora 2 actually caps out at. I couldn't find any published evidence of 60-second native generation, and the actual cap is around 20 seconds on Pro and 10 seconds on Base. That's still longer than every major competitor. Dance 2.0 at 15 seconds, Kling 3.0 at 10, VO 3.1 at 8. But the 60-second claim is marketing that the product never delivered, and Pro tops out at 1080p with no 4K at max length. This charge sticks. The 60-second native generation claim is false, full stop, and the 20-second actual cap, while the longest in the field, is a completely different product than what was advertised, which puts us at one of 2 charges dismissed, 1 sticking, and the score is tightening. Claim 3, Rapid Trailer Concepting. You're a filmmaker trying to pitch a concept fast. You need a coherent 20-second establishing shot that looks like drone footage, and you need it in under a minute per iteration. That's the specific use case Sora 2 has been getting praised for in the community, so the question is whether it actually holds up when you're iterating on real creative work. Watch what happens here. A 5-second 1080p clip generates in about 45 seconds, which is fast enough to actually iterate on creative ideas without losing your train of thought. And at 20 seconds, Sora 2 gets close to one-shotting full trailer concepts, with scene coherence on establishing shots that genuinely rivals professional drone footage, at least on the community reports I reviewed. This charge gets dismissed too. The rapid concepting use case is real, and at 20 seconds, with that generation speed, Sora 2 beats every competitor for near one-shot trailer work, which I didn't expect to hold up as cleanly as it did. So that's 2 of 3 charges dismissed, 1 sticking, and Sora 2 is 2 for 3 on the board. Okay, so 2 charges dismissed and 1 sticking so far, but the 2 that are still coming are the ones that actually decide whether you can use Sora 2 for real work and one of them is going to completely reframe everything that just looked promising. The professional filmmaking charge and the economic viability charge are still on the table, and they go in a direction you probably don't want. Claim 4, professional filmmaking usability. You're on a production deadline. You need to ship actual footage into an edit, and your tool has no timeline editor. Your clips are just loose downloads, and about 30% of your prompts come back with hands merging into palms or physics breaking mid-clip. That's not a concepting problem, that's a production blocker. And that's exactly what's on trial here. I had to run this one twice because the picture is pretty bad. There's no proper editor at all. Clips are downloads you have to bring into your own NLE. Pika and Runway are dramatically faster for actual iteration workflows. Hands and small objects break visibly in roughly 30% of prompts, and then the confirmed app shutdown on April 26, 2026 makes the whole conversation academic anyway. This charge sticks, and it sticks hard. No editor, a 30% artifact rate on hands and objects, and a confirmed shutdown make Sora 2 completely unusable for professional production regardless of how good the physics are on the good clips. So that's 2 of 4 charges dismissed, 2 sticking, and the score is now dead even. Claim 5, economic viability. The number that floored me when I looked at this is the inference cost. And if you're a developer or a studio that built anything on Sora 2's API, what actually matters is whether the company running it can keep the lights on long enough for you to ship, and the answer to that is already in. The numbers here are genuinely staggering. Sora 2 generated $2.1 million in lifetime revenue against roughly $15 million per day in inference costs, and by January 2026, downloads had already fallen 45% month over month to 1.2 million, with spending collapsing to $367,000 from a $540,000 peak, so the pricing at 0.10 to 0.50 per second was too expensive for the quality delivered, and the math never worked. This charge sticks completely. The economics were never close to viable, the shutdown was inevitable from the moment those numbers were set, and the final score is 2 of 5 charges dismissed, 3 sticking, because a dead product can't win, no matter how good the physics were. Alright, so where does Sora 2 actually shine? Physics accuracy is genuinely best in class, natural gravity, momentum, and collisions that no competitor has fully matched. And for rapid, concepting the 20-second clip length beats C-Dance at 15 seconds, Kling at 10, and VO at 8, with cinematic scene coherence for establishing shots, rivals professional drone footage. For concepting work, it was the real deal. But here's where Sora 2 falls apart. No editor means clips are loose downloads, not workflow assets, and Pika and Runway are dramatically faster for real iteration. Hands and small objects break in roughly 30% of prompts, so it's not production ready. The economics collapsed at $2.1 million lifetime revenue against a daily inference bill that dwarfed it by orders of magnitude, and the app is shut down. That's not a soft landing, that's a wall. Skip Sora 2 entirely, because 2 of 5 charges dismissed is not enough when the product is dead, and a shutdown product is the one thing you can't build a workflow on. So if you need physics-accurate concepting today, go to Kling 3.0 or C-Dance 2.0 because they're alive and closing the gap fast. One thing the marketing never mentioned. Sora 2 dropped token-based pricing mid-run and switched to a compute time plus duration hybrid at 0.10 to 0.50 hour per second, which means a single 20-second pro clip could cost you $10 at the top end. And that pricing change was never clearly communicated to developers who had already built cost models around the old structure. So if you're now looking for a video model that's actually still alive and worth your time, I did a full breakdown on Kling's closest competitor in the AI space, and the one worth watching right now is DeepSeek V4 Flash. I ran it through that same kind of scrutiny, and the results are pretty interesting. So check out DeepSeek V4 Flash. Is it actually any good? It's linked right here.